Alrighty! It's time, once again, for some drawing and goodness. Yay! It has been way too long since I've done an art stream, so I'm happy to be back at it for at least a little bit. I really need to work on anthrofractal stuff too, because I am a little behind on that. But in the meanwhile, it is nice to be doing this instead, because I've just been super busy the past few weekends. Haven't been able to stream, so let's do some streaming of art on this here Sunday morning. I hope you all, if you're joining me, are doing well. Hello, thank you for coming. Yes, it is art stream time. Yay! Again, I really should be working on anthrofractal probably, but I'll do that later today. I'm like, most of these weekends I've been busy and just work's been a lot, plus a lot of socializing, which is good. The socializing part's good. But the work part, a little less fun. But that's okay. So I'm almost through the hard part of work, at least for this episode. So I'm like, okay, I can do a little bit on Eldritchrune. I had like 2 weeks where I wasn't able to work on it at all, and I was just like, the itch, no. When am I going to get to do it? Since it's now. We're working on it a little bit. I work on ending stuff too, but today we are doing a little bit more on the scene with Alphys and Undyne. So I hope you guys are doing well. There's no Deltarune tomorrow, but there is at least Eldritchrune today. And that's well, that's not nearly as good, but it's something. It's just okay in the meanwhile. I still kind of want to go off on a wild tangent of Deltarune theories before we get the new chapters, but everybody does those things on video, and I don't think I have time to make a nice video. Oh my goodness, terror events. But yeah, red and yellow looks fun too. I've only seen little glimpses of it from what Shay has streamed, but it looked cute. I know there was another Deltarune fan game that released, I think, yesterday that was in Under event. So I have to look at that. We're super close, but I need to know how close. Toby, please, you have to tell me. You have to tell me when. Because I have a job, and I have to plan ahead for that. Oh, the fan game that released is Deltarune The Upper Hand. It has that sock guy, that like sock puppet guy. Seen that around a little bit, so that released. If you all want a new fan game to poke at while we wait. Yes, there's lots of options out there. We are definitely not starved for content. The fandom keeps us busy in the meanwhile, because people are talented and skilled. But yeah, I know the actual chapters are soon, but Toby, please tell me so that I can plan for that, because I have a job. Yay, thank you so much for subscribing. Study session, yay. Ah yes, Vampire Survivors. I know there's plenty of other games I need to tackle in the meanwhile. I know I've been doing Okami, but I'm like, oh man. I've got my list of stuff to get through. I guess I could add like Slay the Spire to that, since I got a copy of Slay the Spire. And I've never played it. But I want a copy, so I should totally play it sometime. Oh, sorry. That's the terrible ads. If you subscribe, no ads. But hello. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. I appreciate you being here while we're drawing stuff with Alphys and Undyne. Vampire Survivors. Those are kind of like those reverse bullet hell games, if I remember correctly. We just have to like keep as many people away from you as possible, as opposed to dodging the bullets. These guys are being a bit of a jerk. A jerk. Okay. Oh yeah, I'd probably say that. Lynx Griffin. And I got a fursona in the corner. So yeah, I've just been way behind on that stuff. The first furry convention I ever went to was like 2 weeks ago. And it was fun. I should have gone to one sooner, but I just never got to it. I've been to plenty of conventions, but that was my first furry con, and I was like, this was fun. I had a great time. I should try that again. Oh, I had to stop playing Picross games because they're really addictive for me. I really like Picross. I played like the Pokemon one, and I had this other one I downloaded, but it was just eating like all of my time, and I was like, oh no, I can't keep doing this for my own health. So I had to stop playing it. I really like Picross games though. That scratches my particular like puzzle itch. I can't do the math of Sudoku, but I can do it okay for Picross. Eldritchrune yesterday. I wish. Actually, no. Eldritchrune, please come out in 2 weeks. Exactly. That would be perfect. But I don't know if we're going to get it in 2 weeks or not. Maybe. But I need advanced warning. I'm sure he's going to do that, but it's a little rough since since Toby was doing the whole, I'm going to just, comment on progress every day on Blue Sky and then nothing for a bit. Which is, his prerogative. He does not have to keep anybody updated on anything. But it would be nice. Yeah, even though I don't think I have the time to do a nicely edited video or anything, I'm like, I wonder if I should just put out all of my current Eldritchrune theories, shoot my shots, as it were. Be like, and then you find out how wrong I was. It won't let you reserve because it's probably not up on the store for reserve yet. Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, I am making stuff up. Like, I already have the ending for Eldritchrune planned. I've been working on it steadily, but I can guarantee you the ending is not going to be any kind of match for whatever canon does, because that would be kind of crazy. But I'm not trying to. That's kind of the freeing part of it. It's like, okay, I love canon stuff. This does not have to adhere to canon in any way. This is just using it as a springboard. Oh, Lunar Remaster. I thought you were talking about Eldritchrune. Okay. Oh, character-wise. Yeah. That's what I would like to do, at least. Like, obviously, can't predict the plot. But I'd like to try and stick with, a good idea of, okay, what if the characters were in this medieval Eldritch universe and they were giant monsters and stuff like that. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. If canon, mirrored Eldritchrune in that way, I'd be like, what's going on here? I don't feel like that would be very likely at all. Definitely the night in Eldritchrune, I think, is nothing at all what I think is going to be going on in actual canon. It's because, at least in Eldritchrune, the knight is just a guy. He's a new character, not any particular character we already know. Eldritchrune, just a week away! Woohoo! I'm so excited about this information. Favorite movie with animal characters? Well, When I was growing up, I was absolutely a Lion King kid. This was kind of before the internet, so I imagine if, it had been around and I had been on the internet a bunch, I probably would have gotten big into Lion King stuff online. But as it was, I just really liked Lion King as a kid, and I drew it a bunch. It's probably my favorite animated Disney movie. But I know there's other stuff out there. I like Robin Hood okay, but I don't know. I'm not as big a Robin Hood fan as like a bunch of furries are. I don't know. It's fine. It's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you mean James Earl Jones. He's done more than just Darth Vader. But yes. I even saw The Lion King in German, because when it came out, I saw it in, English first, but we were in Germany for a little while, and it came out, in Germany a little bit after it had already been released domestically, and so I saw it in German. It's called Der König der Löwen, the King of the Lions, and it was good in German too, but it probably helped that I already knew the story. And the soundtrack and all that stuff. Not exactly. We did not do... We did do international program stuff a little bit, but that was the only time we did it, like, when I was a kid. When I was 10. The next time I went and did that myself, I was in college. So I wasn't traveling a lot. Yeah, I've seen some stuff of like, okay, they probably reused some of his lines from his original takes, opposed to, oh no, we did all new takes, and I'm like, did you? Because he's older now, dude. He sounds old. I was born in the U.S., yes. I do not live there right now, but I was born there. Oh, yeah, Over the Hedge. It's so weird because I don't have any strong memories of Over the Hedge as a movie. I remember it as a newspaper comic. It was a pretty cutely drawn newspaper comic, and that's what I knew it from. So I'm like, they made a movie of it? Okay, and the movie was like, okay, but it's not as good as the newspaper comic, honestly. Oh no, I feel old. That's wild to me. Because that's what I grew up doing. It was a newspaper strip for me. When it became a movie, I was like, okay, weird. But no, it was absolutely a newspaper strip. Honestly, I think the art was better in the strip than it was in the movie. Just a bit. Hold on, Simba. I know, I'm just like, please let James Earl Jones rest. He is old. I really don't want them to turn into like, we're gonna reuse your voice for AI. Ugh, gross, gross. Oh, you don't need to do that. I can make myself old with one sentence, and that's, I don't know, probably several sentences. I am old. Back in my day, we had cassette tapes. I am not watching the remake because I cannot stand those remakes. Oh, they make me so angry. Like, just on principle. Everybody's like, oh, Lilo and Stitch looks fun. And I'm like, no! I just want to watch the cartoon. I want those beautiful watercolor backgrounds. Stop doing that to my movies. Oh, why is everybody old? I'm so old. When you get older, all that stuff blurs together. You know what came out when I was a kid? Jurassic Park. I know. I hate them so much. It's just on principle. I'm like, unless you can do something extremely different with it, which they're not trying to do, then I don't want to see this nonsense. Just watch the original movie. Just, It does. Like, part of what makes Lilo and Stitch really charming is, like, Chris Sanders' really unique art style. Oh, yeah. There was, like, 3 showings of Snow White yesterday. We went to the movies, and we went to The Day the Earth Blew Up, which was a much better choice. I am glad we saw that movie. It was very funny. Exactly. Like, you can't even do, like, that, because it's still animated. You're just paying people less for it. It was good. I loved the Farmer Jim gags, like, every single time with Farmer Jim. It was so funny. Just in hysterics on that. And the ending was great. Yeah, it's probably not going to teach Disney a lesson in terms of stop doing those and do more animated stuff instead, but whatever. I'm pretty sure they have, like, the one that's going to get me, the one that's just going to absolutely make me so mad is, if they finally go through with it, is Bambi. Oh, that's just flames on the side of my face. I'm so mad about live action Bambi. No, leave Bambi alone. Because, like, I don't know. I love Bambi. I think Bambi is a beautiful film. You really cannot make it nowadays because it's like, oh, what's the story? What's the arc? Because Bambi is not really a traditional story per se. It's just kind of like the portrait of a forest and about a deer that lives in this forest. And there's not really much to it than that. It's more about the atmosphere than it is about, you know, the characters. And that's a hard sell nowadays. It's like you got these beautiful oil paintings, you know, this soft music and all that stuff. Just really gorgeous, you know, art is what I would say with Bambi. It was experimental in art. They were doing really experimental stuff back then. I do not want that in live action. I want my oil paintings. Like, ugh. Like, even when they did, like, the Bambi sequel, they tried to, like, stick with it a little bit, but it's still too much. You have to really let just Bambi be. They are, especially Disney right now. And everybody really, like, hypes up, you know, oh, Bambi's so traumatizing and all that stuff. When, if you think about it, what makes that impact so powerful is how immensely subtle it is. Like, you do not see what happens to Bambi's mom at all. It's just like, oh, she's like, keep running. You hear a gunshot and that is it. And that is all you need. You don't need anything else. And then there's just the quiet, oh, she's gone. And we have to move on with our lives kind of thing. Like, Bambi doesn't even really get to mourn. It's like a couple shots of it. It is really understated and subtle, even though it's supposed to be this big traumatic moment. I don't know, I have mixed feelings on Star Wars. I guess I should see the more recent movies, because I only saw New Hope. And, what else did I see? I should see the animated shows, actually. And I liked them Andor. I saw part of Andor. I need to finish it. But yeah, I'm not super keen on seeing the rest. And, I don't know. I think they need to let Star Wars breathe for a while. They're not going to, but they should just kind of put it up on the shelf. Give it some time. I did like Encanto. Encanto was pretty good. Undyne is pissed about live-action remakes, too. He's gonna get you. I like Turning Red. I feel like Turning Red was really shafted. Turning Red felt really, like, fresh and different from Pixar's usual stuff. And, just, you know, as that kind of thing, it was nice to see. Oh, The Love Bug. I remember that one. I haven't seen it, but I remember it from long ago. Disney used to do a lot of, like, original live-action movies. They weren't remakes. They would do original ones. But yeah, I liked Turning Red quite a bit. I thought that was good. I still haven't seen Elemental. What's going on with her eye? Which I guess I should see at some point. Yeah, like I know there's kind of a thing going on of like, oh, you know, the big thing now with millennials making movies is generational trauma. But I feel like Turning Red was a really good take on that. I don't know, like, if other countries liked Elemental, good. You know, you don't have to just make things just for the U.S. It kind of sounds like Elemental was very much like an immigrant kind of story, which I think that would really resonate with people who are immigrants or, you know, raised in minority cultures, so I think that would be, you know, pretty good. And it actually, I heard that it took off okay, you know, after a little bit. Cars 2. Still haven't seen Soul. I like Luca. I saw Strange World, and it's weird because on the one hand people are like really ragging on it. On the other, I'm like, I don't think it needs to be really ragged on. It's just kind of okay. Okay, I do not think Elemental sounds like a Zootopia ripoff. It does not sound like the same kind of stuff at all. Yeah, if you're going to do something with a live-action remake, at least try and do something different. At least tell a different story with the characters. I mean, again, it was just okay. It's kind of weird because, like, Strange World feels like the kind of thing that, like, you know, people might really like and, you know, have just nice, diverse characters in it and stuff like that. There's some imaginative stuff with that kind of, you know, world design and all that kind of stuff. But again, it was just kind of okay. It just kind of bounces off of you. I don't know how else to describe it. It was a little bit predictable. It's just kind of weird because, like, it's one of those stories that's like, oh, this is super necessary for our day and age because, you know, it's a kind of an environmental story. But... and also some generational trauma. So a little bit of both. But, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't bad. It just didn't... again, it slid off my brain. But I worry that Disney takes the wrong lessons away from that. I'm not sure which lessons they take, but I feel like it's going to be the wrong ones. Indeed, environmental messaging and generational trauma. No more cars, please. Cars felt very weird because, like, the first Cars, you can kind of, you know, excuse, oh, I live in a world where they're all cars. And, you know, because it's kind of a smaller scale story. And it's like, okay, I can accept they're all cars in a world of cars, whatever. And then you get to, like, Cars 2, and suddenly the scale gets ramped up a whole lot. And we've got all this international stuff going on. And it just raises, like, so many questions about the world that weren't there previously. And it's like, wait... I didn't have to think too much about the cars. Now I have to think about the cars too much. Why is there a Pope car? Was there car Jesus? Why did we have the gap? This bothers me. This bothers me so much. I'm sure I've told this story before. But there's a gag in Cars 2. There's a gag in Cars 2 where, like, Mater is going down some, like, alleyway in, you know, Italy or whatever. And then he sees, like, this car that seems to be, like, dead and, like, sitting in an alley, and then he kind of cautiously approaches it, and it comes to life, and it turns out that the car's eyes are in its headlights instead of in Paris, or in the car's headlights instead of in its windshield. And she's, like, trying to sell him on, like, her headlight eyes as opposed to the windshield eyes, and he freaks out and runs off. And I'm like, what are the implications of that? Like, obviously it's a joke at the Chevron cars at the time, which were, you know, basically advertising, you know, living cars, and everybody's like, oh, it's like Disney's cars, but they had their eyes in the in the headlights rather than the windshields. Like, it's obviously a joke about that. But I'm sorry, you cannot make that joke in this kind of world building without setting up some really dark implications. Like, did he just stumble across some car body horror just randomly for the jokes? Because well, I love Susie the Little Blue Coupe. I used to watch that all the time as a kid. I prefer that to Cars. Just give me Susie the Little Blue Coupe. Because at least that one makes sense because, like, yeah, is there just random body horror in Paris going on I don't know about? Because at least, like, with Susie the Little Blue Coupe, is, like, that takes place in a world where there are humans and humans drive the cars. So it's like, okay, that's logical. That makes sense. Cars takes place in a universe where, as far as we can tell, there are no humans. The cars drive themselves. So, like, what's going on? I know, that's exactly it. Like, what does that mean? Aw. Hamsters. And yeah, they do have short lifespans. That's the real, lore. Cars takes place in the Warrior Cats universe where cars are alive. Okay. I gotta see how much further I can get before I need to take my stretch break. And also, like, the whole idea of, like, some cars are like lemons. Like, they're just kind of born or made that way. And it's like, this raises uncomfortable questions. How are cars made? Are they manufactured? Who is manufacturing them and why? If they're not being made for humans. When two cars love each other very much. No, Cars universe chat. But again, cars have certain models that, we use for certain purposes. How do you, do you go to, the car factory and decide, oh, we're going to have a baby car? And by a baby car, I guess we're going to mean another adult car, because were there any child cars? Do they grow? If so, how? Do they have to keep swapping out their parts? Is it like a Ship of Theseus thing? Okay, you order a kid. Again, does the kid grow into an adult car? The horse is here. You know what? I know I've seen that joke all the time. I know it's from Family Guy. I have no clue what the context is beyond that. Because I used to watch Family Guy a lot in college, and then I got older and stopped doing that. Those mini RC cars. No. Again, do they grow up into adult cars? How do they become big cars? This guy is laughing because we're discussing Cars anatomy. Peter bought a horse, that's the context? But then why does that line get quoted all the time? Aside from, Peter, the horse is here. Just because it's a funny line, I guess. No, I don't want to see the Cars extended universe. Yeah, they want to be horrors in Eldritchrune. Would that work? There's no cars in this universe because this is like a medieval universe. I don't know. Would the Undying title make sense? Well, I don't know. Does... Okay, I gotta stop and do a little stretch break here before we move on. Makes it all the scarier. Oh yeah, I never saw Robots. I think I have that on DVD and I never saw it. Eldritch Car. Birdley would know what it is at least. He don't know how he'd know it. Because I don't know if Undying would have the title of Undying because she doesn't really have that in Deltarune itself. Cars like this, they were 1 horsepower. Behold, a car. Show a picture of a horse. It is mobile. It is mobile, like it moves on its own power. That's our hot take. Cars are horses. Horses are cars. Yeah, at least see that part's nice. Again, like it's excusable in the first movie because again the stakes are not super high. You're just like, okay, I got to get to the race and win all the stuff, but also I got to get back to like my roots, I guess. And just, you know, it's basically a story about appreciating small town living. Horses are just cars with anxiety. True. I only saw like parts of Cars 3 once. I don't remember it super closely. It seemed like it was okay though. Not as mind melting as Cars 2. They kind of pulled it back a little bit. Cars are just horses with medication. What is the medication that we are giving to cars? We have deep car lore going on here. Cars 3 bored me to death. If you gave a horse gasoline, I think that might kill it. Yes. A carsis, if you will. Ugh. Do we have a car Council of Nicaea? Was there a car Roman Empire? Were they just chariots if they were in the Roman Empire? And if so, what was powering the chariots? Did they used to have horses? Was there a symbiotic relationship between cars and horses until the combustion engine was invented? Did we get a car inquisition? Were there car crusades? Was there a car Mongol Empire? Did they have to ride other cars to raid China? Did Car Martin Luther nail the theses to the door of the car church? How deep does this go? Martin Luther King. No, Martin Luther is different from Martin Luther King. Although I'm pretty sure the names are related. Bluey World makes way more sense than Cars World. A world where everybody are kinds of dogs and everything else is the same. That's logic. Like, you can look at that. Carl Carts! Just manifesto on carpitalism. Advocating for communism. Alright, I'll be right back. I need a few more stretches here. Alrighty, I'm back from my stretch break. Oh, they gotta have their car mitzvah. What then? This guy finds the car puns funny. They're not, but no, I like puns. Puns are okay. Undyne's like, I'm sick of these car puns. I'm gonna go beat up a car. I don't even know what they are. Gotta go bench press some cars. I'm sorry, I find puns funny. Carcerina. Don't get incarcerated. Undyne's out of here. I think Chris should be allowed to hit Mayor Holiday with a Honda Accord. Well, at least in Eldritchrune, she's gonna get worse than a Honda Accord. She probably wish she had gotten hit by a Honda Accord. I don't even know what that is, and I wish I had been hit by that instead. That's reference. No, ew, gross. I think it's just a joke. My carcass, no. I was just like, Chris, I'm concerned about all these puns. Sure, I forgot her symbol thing on here. Oh, that's a punishment. Ooh. That's hell. You get, you know, instead of actual hell, you just get turned into a car and sent to the Cars universe. That would be kind of some kind of Eldritch horror, especially if you don't know what a car is. Ugh. World's worst isekai. Has anybody done that kind of isekai where it's like, help, I was hit by a car and then, you know, that turned me into a car in the Cars universe? Oh yeah, I like that post too. I was hit by a car and I turned into a car by Fallout Boy. Come on, somebody has to have done that. There's so many isekai out there. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Yeah, isn't there a movie where it comes back as a car somehow? Clearly, humanity just loves stories about people getting hit by cars and then turned into cars. Why else would we keep telling this tale as old as time? Undyne is not happy. She's gonna punch somebody. Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna do that kind of thing, it's like Mr. Ed, but even worse. Reincarnated as a vending machine. I guess maybe they were actually trying to follow the Mr. Ed thing of like, it'll be really funny if, you know, there's a car around, but then it's like, I don't know, it's probably easier to get a horse in places than it is a car. Leonardo da Vinci. Joan of Arc? Joan of Arc. I don't know why that the fact that we need to have like the C on the end. Joan of Arc. They burned her at the car stake. They had that kind of body horror in Cars too, where it's like, and then the car got crushed into like a metal cube, like Brave Little Toaster. That's some body horror. The Jeep hunting trials. Nobody expects the Spanish Carquisition. That is true. Cars 2 is just like, ah, yes, this fun story about cars that if they were alive. Now let's imply body horror for it, and also spies? That's true, it does. Please do not watch past the first Cars movie. As you can see by our discussion, it's not really worth it. Man, Brave Little Toaster is scary as heck. Like them burst into flames from within a film camera. It's like all the stuff in Brave Little Toaster, I don't know, it just felt extra scary for some reason. But also Brave Little Toaster, with the whole bit at the end of the car crushing machine, has one of my big childhood, again, what's... I don't want to call this a squick, because I don't think it's a squick, but like one of those like things that just you find viscerally upsetting or scary. And big, scary machines that like are designed to like, you know, people get stuck in and crushed or whatever, like those scare the heck out of me. I do not like those kind of industrial sort of things. Like, oh, they're really upsetting for me. I don't know why, but anything like, yeah, the Brave Little Toaster scene, I can barely watch that one part from the "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" thing with the, you know, people getting caught in the machine. All the bits of Wallace and Gromit and A Close Shave where like they have the big machine that, you know, they can get trapped in. Same with Chicken Run. Ugh. Again, I wouldn't call it a squick, but it's just, and I wouldn't even call it a childhood fear because I still don't like it. Oh, I love Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit is wonderful. I just watched the new movie recently, and it was really fun. But the big machine from A Close Shave, just, it makes me so uncomfortable every time. That and rapid aging are like two things that I find, or like rapid like de-evolution or rapid aging or whatever. Like those are two things that I just do not like to see. They make me so uncomfortable. Yeah. Cannot argue with Overpower Machine. It's just gonna do its machine thingy. Yeah, again, I'm not sure if I would call it a squick. Maybe it is a squick. I don't know. I always figured, like, squick is, like, I don't know, a bit more of a personal kind of thing. I'm probably not explaining it well. Maybe it is a squick. Because it's weird because, like, there's a bit more of a fear element to it than I would say it was a squick. Like, squick I was always put it as, like, disgust kind of thing. And I don't find those things disgusting. I find them upsetting and scary. Whereas a squick I was associated with, like, oh, that's gross and disgusting and, you know, disturbing to me. But I guess it can cover, like, scary and upsetting as well. Yeah, it's weird, because, like body horror and blobby stuff, I'm like, ooh, like, it's, you know, it's icky, but I can handle that better. I feel less uncomfortable around that than I do with, like, again, like, big machines. I don't even want to say it's something problematic, because there's nothing problematic about some things that are squicks. They're, like, things that personally bother you. It's kind of like the opposite of a kink, I'd say, in some ways. Like a kink is something that, like, has no moral judgment, but you like it for reasons, like, you can't really describe. You just like it. It hits the good buttons in your brain. And a squick is like the opposite of that. That's like it's hitting the bad buttons in your brain, even though it's morally neutral. Squink. It does both at once. Hits the good and the bad buttons. Very talented. Yeah, it probably is just a squick, and I'm just being a bit pedantic about it. Yeah, I guess I can cover a lot of different things. But in my case, the big scary machine are de-aging. A bit more fear-based than disgust-based, but they're still probably in the hitting the bad buttons category. And again, no moral judgment about it. There's nothing wrong with it. It is entirely a me reaction. And everybody has different ones. Some people they actually really like. For some people, I'm certain that like big scary machine doing that is like a turn on. Like that's hitting the good buttons. That's just not the case with me. Anyways, thanks a bunch for coming and for chatting. Gotta keep the phone updated. This is Alphys descended to her true form because she doesn't have the internet or phones. Yeah, body horror I feel like is very, very subjective. Because there can be some body horror things I'm like, oh, that's really fun, and somewhere I'm like, oh, no, I'm not having a fun time. Oftentimes the problem is you don't really know which is which until you actually encounter it. I think Birdley is going to be too busy snacking on humans to talk to them about his special interests. Alright, we gotta do some special. The Eldritch God of Anime. You'll find out what happens with Alphys. Well, see, instead of internet or anime, she's really into fantasy novels. She's really into literature. That's all she got. Yeah, you could probably have the vessel count as body horror. I'm not sure if we're going to see the vessel again. Seems likely, but I don't know under what context. No, I'm sorry. Alphys would not know what Eldritch... Because also, like, nobody can understand what the Eldritch Beasts are saying but Chris. That's part of their deal with Ralsei's. They got that special knowledge. So, other people cannot understand what the Beasts are saying. We're gonna go om nom nom. Oh yeah, Greek epics. Just any kind of literature. She can probably read Greek, yeah. Definitely think the vessel has narrative potential. I just, at the moment, do not have any ideas as to where that potential would go. Oh, I'm sure there's trashy Greek stuff too. I'm sure they ran into each other. Odyssey of the Iliad is her One Piece equivalent. True. Oh, there's not a piece of paper there. When will Homer put out a new update? Alphys, never! It'll never happen. Odyssey tomorrow. Oh, I'm quite positive there are. I'm certain that there were, even back in the day, that they were like, oh, this theater is so trashy. Back in my day, we had good media. The Ithaca is real. People have always been people, and people have always complained about new generations. I'm not sure if Dickens would be alive at this particular time yet. Although I do know that, yeah, didn't Dickens write a lot of stuff in, like, serials? Because that was how you made your money. Oh, she absolutely ships Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Enkidu. I can't pronounce it. Kids these days don't drink their coffee pure anymore. These dumb kids can't even appreciate. Did they have coffee? No, okay, yeah, they must have had coffee in Sumeria, because I know there's Arabian coffee. So I'm like, wait, wouldn't coffee be from the Americas? I'm like, no, okay, there's coffee in Middle East as well. So how are people supposed to remember the tales, right, if they have to write them down? Aristotle hated writing. Kids these days. Aristotle yells at cloud. Who was the one that got the pelican, that got the turtle dropped on his head? Somebody. It's found close to the 15th century? I feel like it would have been around longer than that. Humans love them you know, weird bean to put in their mouths, so. Oh yeah, that's not surprising. Not surprising at all to me. We can't get rid of this thing that our society's based on, so we're going to justify it. Also, ancient Greeks, absolutely terrible with women. The whole reason why it's like, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna have, you know, male-male relationships is because women were considered like cattle. Not good reasons. What? Huh? Thanks, Aristotle. You're very smart. They're on a head-on collision course with wackiness. The cult of Artemis. No, I that might be it. Or maybe especially if women were encouraged to not show their teeth. I have no clue. They're gonna have a meet cute before they die. They got a little time before they die, because, you know, Chris isn't back yet. Just like in canon. No, I'm kidding. I don't think everybody's gonna die in canon. I do not believe in a rocks fall, everyone dies ending. The kid you banished to the Shadow Realm. And yeah, there's always been a time where adults were like, oh, the youth today. So I'm trying to resist that urge. There are a few things I'm upset about the youth doing. The youth, do not do your stuff through AI. It's a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't use that AI. It's bad for you. Like, literally bad for your brain. I will stand by this. But, like, kids' interest. Nothing wrong with that. Drawing the pillar. Oh, well, I'm not drawing stuff in order. I don't think Frisk is in here. Frisk and Kara are not here. If they are, they would just be random humans in, like, the fortress city, and not in hometown. Okay, good. Kids, make sure you don't use the AI. Hate it. Good. That's what I want to hear. It's not chronological order. Impossible. Yeah, that is something I worry about. Because I'm pretty sure I was the last generation to grow up without online. I didn't really start using online stuff a lot until, like, middle school at the earliest, mostly high school. And, little worried. I don't really want 5-year-olds online. I don't know if that's the best situation. It's not really a safe place for them. It shouldn't have to be a safe place for them, but it's not. Yeah, I'm not sure what that would do to you. And I absolutely think please, if you have a child, do not give them a screen before the age of 2. Like, it's actually quite bad. And it's not just because screens are bad. It's because, like, when you are a baby, you're still, like, developing your senses of how the world works. And one of those senses we don't talk about enough is, like, your sense of balance and perception, like 3D perception, like where objects are in space. And a screen's going to mess with that because it imitates things in space, but it's not. It's on a flat surface. So that's actually not good for your development of, like, moving through the world and your sense of balance if you're giving, like, really little kids, like babies, screens. So don't do that. You need to understand how 3D space works before you can break that rule. Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. We are busy and chatting away. Yes, that too, because I was taught a lot of computer stuff when I was growing up. You know, I was taught, like, typing classes and stuff, a little bit of programming, although those programming languages don't do it anymore. But yes, please teach kids how to use a computer. That's actually important. I will stand by that. Thank you so much. You're just working on the clean lines right now for this comic. These guys are being jerks in the background. Yeah, that part worries me. I mean, I'm not much better myself. There are definitely people who know how to use a computer better than I can. But I can still, like, you know, navigate menus okay, and I know where stuff is stored, and I can look stuff up in a drive, and etc., etc. But I worry if everybody is just, like, only using apps. I'm like, please know how to use a computer. Ugh. Yeah, that would force me to be better at computers, learning Linux. Yeah, exactly. Like, I do get it. There's computer stuff that's scary. It's not my forte. But you should learn how to use a computer the same way you need to learn, like, the basics of how to drive a car. Yeah, I was not a phone kid. We did everything on the computer. And the computer was not something you had in your room. That was in the computer room. Yeah, I put my Windows updates on hold for a bit because apparently there was, like, a big problem with the updates that would, like, potentially BSOD things, and I don't want that. I'll wait a little bit on that. Don't let the computer program the child. Oh no, they're taking a spill. I used to use Macs all the time. I only recently switched to PC at home, so still a little bit of a curve on that for me because I've used Macs for most of my life, and I just recently switched, like in the last 5 years or so, switched to PC. Yeah, that's understandable. They're both sucky for different reasons. I just did not appreciate about Mac how hard it is to repair things. If something goes wrong, you pretty much have to buy a new one. They really make it difficult to repair. Yeah, I can't help it. My new computer came with 11, so 11's what I got. It's what I got. it's really concerning. I'm like, students, please, you should at least know, like, how to save a file and where to recover that file later. Please. But I'll be honest, I don't really understand, like, doing everything on the phone. I do not that much stuff on a phone compared to what I do on my desktop. I don't even use a laptop. I use big desktop. Please know how to copy and paste something. Do students not know how to copy and paste, please? That's where copy pasta, aka creepy pasta, came from. Yeah, I can't type fast on a phone. Please, I need a keyboard with the keys to go clickety-clackety. You can hear them in the background going clickety-clackety. Haptic feedback. It's another reason why I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to get a new car at some point. And I don't want a new car that's like, and everything's on the screen. I'm like, no, I need a button that my fingertip can touch. I don't want to look away from the road. Oh, thank you. There's one nice thing about doing doing storyboards and all that is that you gotta learn how to do a bunch of different poses. I just realized I'm a little lost on. Yeah, there it is. You gotta do good poses. Whenever I have a bit of a break from work, I really need to do some life drawing work because I feel like my anatomy is getting kind of sluggish and sloppy. So I need to do some practice, but I'm always just caught up with work and stuff like that, and then also working on this. I don't have time for it, but if I get a little bit of a work break in the future, which very may well happen, I'm going to try and do a little bit of anatomy practice. Just try and get myself back in order on that. I know. I hope it comes out soon. Depends. Actually, no. My guess is that this will probably be out. Assuming nothing big with Eldritchrune happens, like we don't suddenly get Eldritchrune tomorrow. This will probably be out in about 2 or 3 weeks. Because thankfully this is a pretty short one. It's not a complicated one. This one has just been taking a while because real life has been like a lot. It's been a lot of work. And socializing. I had my dad visit for like 5 days at the start of the month, and that was really nice. But it did take up a lot of time. So I was busy doing stuff with him. Oop, the estimate. Oh, sorry, I'll tell it again when the ads are done. I gotta take a break from my stretches anyway. Posing's important. Again, that's why I need to do some anatomy studies. Get some good refreshers on anatomy. What bothers me about autocorrect is, like, I will be typing a word, and then that pops up on the autofill. And I'm like, okay, yes, that is the correct autofill word I want. I will click on that to finish it. And then it just puts in an entirely different word than the one I clicked on. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I do not understand that at all. I don't understand how that works, but it keeps happening to me. Yay! Thank you so much for subscribing. Autocorrect is often frustrating. Again, I don't understand why. Literally, the correct word that I want to autofill pops up, and then it's just like, nope, I thought you meant something else. I didn't even list it. It's just here now. Brah! And thank you so much for subscribing. But yeah, if you missed it, I don't know if the ads are still going. Maybe I should wait a little bit. That's totally fair. You get to the point where it's just like, okay, this is not worth the time I gotta spend wrestling with it. Like, I do want to keep stuff on because, like, say, if I want to type the word, like, something long, like, immediately, that takes a while to type. But if it realizes that I'm talking, like, IMME, and then it fills up the rest with immediately, that's useful because I don't have to type all of the word. But sometimes it'll just be like, oh, you wanted to type immediately? Oh, no, you meant immediate. And I'm like, no. Purple. Exactly. The only way to get better at things is to try. And sometimes you may not do so well, but you just try again. And you keep on trying. And then one day you will get it. Violet square. I'm going to keep pressing the wrong hotkeys here. Why is she purple? Okay. After this, I'm going to have to take a stretch break and also get myself my orange juice and all that. Okay, what are we on? This is just 5. Good grief, I thought it'd be further along. Oh well, this is a complicated page. There's a lot going on. Okay, time to stretch break. Here we go. And I also get liquids and stuff like that. Various liquids to stay hydrated. And liquidated, but not in that way. All kinds of breaks. Ugh. Gotta take care of my wrist. It has at least been good lately, which is good because I've had to do a lot of work. But I do want to try and do more strength training and stuff. I've just been very cautious with it. Because not having wrist problems is something I enjoy. Ooh. And I think I should be going to massage again next week, so that'll be good. Get some stuff for my back and my neck, because that's often the problem. Yes, dinner's important. And stretches are important. Ugh. What research do you have due? I do a wide variety of stuff, and I probably need to pare my stretches down to 5 minutes, because oftentimes they're a little bit more than 5 minutes. It's hard to describe them. It's easier to kind of demonstrate some of them. But, yeah, what I usually do, I don't do it for the streams, but what I usually do is I set an alarm for 30 minutes, and I draw for 30 minutes, and at the end of the alarm I get up and I stretch for however many I need to do. But I do a bunch of stuff that, I do the usual wrist stretches you usually see online, where you like push and pull on it. I also do a bunch of stuff with the whole arm, and a lot of stuff with my neck. And then I also, at the end of the day, usually do some other stuff with like my neck and my back, because I think the big problem stuff with my wrists starts basically at my neck and goes down my neck and my posture, and then goes all the way down to my wrist. So when you're doing stretches, it's important to do them for the wrist, but also like stand up and keep your back straight and move your neck around a lot, because that's all connected. Exactly, it is your head wrist. But just like all the nerves that run through your arm down to your fingers, they start at like the base of your neck. And those are all affected. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and some other things. return. With orangey juice. Can eat from my iron. Okay. We finally have Alphys entering the scene. Streamer jump scare back from stretches. Wah! Just when you thought you were rid of me, I returned. And these guys get to be jerks. Was it? Okay, another half hour of the draws. I love fruit juice. Fruit juice is great. I specifically drink orange juice because, one, I like it. Orange juice is yummy. Even though it's expensive, it is yummy. But also because I take iron supplements, as my doctor said I should. And he said if you take iron supplements, you should have vitamin C with it because vitamin C helps you absorb iron. And obviously, orange juice is a very good source of that. So, whenever I take my iron, I'd have a glass of orange juice with it. Oh. Hand you a steel beam. I am crushed beneath it instantly. I was crushed beneath the weight of 400 bagels. I wonder what other interesting items we will get in the next chapters. I have been supplemented and also subjugated beneath iron beams. I need to be able to fit that in my blood. I don't think it'll fit. I'm not sure if we know any particular interesting items for the next chapter so far. Like, we have some armor, but I don't know about items. Yep, we know about the gingerbread cookie bracelet, which is extremely cute. I'm still not certain yet if we're going to be, like, recruiting any darkeners from the rest of the house, or if it's just going to be the TV. I'm still kind of set on it being just the TV right now. Because, yeah, there's a ginger guard, but that's a piece of equipment, not a darkener. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I just like that Susie's flavor text says, "Look, I punched through a guy." I know, they're so cute. I love the character item text. Even if this now means no more delicious teas to share with people. So sad. I'm probably just going to have a bunch of rotten teas in my inventory now. Unless those change. Character kombucha. I know. Good grief, you have to think about everything. That's something I don't get about game design. It's like, okay, I understand like telling a story and stuff, but if you do have all these like little interactions and all that, there has to like there's so many different instances, elements of it that you have to keep track of and account for. That's just wild to me. Oh shoot. Doing the thing. Where is 6? Like, I'm sure there's some you gotta miss at some point. Yeah, seriously, just like not only having to keep track of like a story, which is hard enough, but keep track of like a story that is not linear and that people can encounter in different ways. Like, that's crazy. Get the flow chart. And like have it all be in character and make sense. That's difficult. I mean, that's kind of what Twine is like, right? I've used Twine a little bit. Where it's basically like, you know, choice-based writing. How one thing flows to another. What cover is this? This is an a cappella cover, I think. By Bryn Cortez. Although this looks like an old one, so it's archived of Hopes and Dreams. It ain't Smooth McGroove, but it is a cappella. I'm very glad that these artists will keep songs up on their YouTube. Good grief, I did it again. Will keep songs up on their YouTube, and even if they're like, oh, this is old, I don't really like it anymore. Thank you for keeping that up. For people like me, who still like it. Because it sucks when like, oh, I really like this piece of art, and then you try and find it again, and it's just gone because the artist, you know, didn't like it or took it down for whatever reason. It's like, okay, I understand as an artist that, you know, you get older and you get more experience and you do not like, you know, old stuff you've made. But other people might still like it. Bryn Cortez. Brynn Cortez. But it's also listed as archive, so it might be different from any current channels. Oh yeah, I think the playlist I have for all my Undertale Deltarune songs is public, so you should be able to get anything you want from there. Auto provided. So, thank you, artists, for leaving up your old art, even if you don't like it anymore. Somebody does. But I think it's pretty normal to not like what your old art is as you get older. So you're like, you more than anybody else are aware of like, oh, this has changed dramatically and this does not reflect what I can do now or even what I would do now. So, ugh. That's a tough spot to be in. Speaking of tough spots, it's their mute cute time. Yeah. That's just kind of an inevitable thing. Part of it is like letting go of like, okay, this is what I did, you know, a while ago, and even though this has less value to me now than other things do, there's still some value to it to somebody. Oh, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Like, on the one hand, sometimes I'll go back to old stuff I made, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I really like this still. This is still really fun. And sometimes I go back, and I'm like, ugh. Ain't nothing you can do about that. Nice. That's kick-ass. It's always comforting when, like, you think of, like, a creator you liked when you were, you know, younger, and you were like, oh, I wonder what they're doing now. I hope they're, you know, they're cool and didn't turn evil. And you see, oh no, they are cool. In fact, they've gotten even cooler. And you're like, yay! And sometimes you get the opposite. Sometimes you encounter a creator and you're like, oh, they did this cool thing, you know, I really liked when I was younger. What are they up to now? And it's like they're a transphobe, and you're like, oh, what? Not naming any names, but aside from the obvious example. Yep, exactly. You know, I haven't been super active on Tumblr, but I also haven't been getting that many ask lately. At least nothing I've been like, oh, I'm really dying to answer this. I don't know, like sometimes for asks I'll just get something that's like either I don't get it or like it's trying to make a joke and the joke's not very good, so I'm like, well, I don't really want to do anything with this and just kind of leave it. The once a day rebloggers. I do use my Blue Sky, I just use it for kind of different purposes than Tumblr. More short form thoughts than, you know, interaction with people kind of thing. I should interact with people more. It's hard for me for some reason. I don't know why. I'm always like, I should participate in fandom more. I should interact with people and their posts. And then I don't. I'm sorry, people. I get too caught up being like, okay, I'm gonna go make something and then not talk to anybody until it's done. Yeah, I guess in some ways. Like, I definitely second guess myself more in terms of, like, what do I want to talk about, what do I want to address. I'm quite positive that's why Toby just doesn't say anything at all except for, you know, various things here and there, because he's hyper aware of that, which, smart. Like, it's smart of him to do that. Plus, I'm sure he's probably just busy. I'm sure he's just busy and has other things going on than looking online. The Toby and Bill Watterson way, true. That's the smart way. I imagine it might kind of suck for him because I feel like he was always kind of born to be a shit poster. Like, he likes doing shit posts, but I think because he's aware of his presence online, he's really conscious about it and just does not shit post the way he might otherwise. That's my guess anyway. You really gotta, like, double and triple guess yourself on that. That kind of sucks. Yeah, roast chicken era was fun. We'd like us a roast chicken. Born to shitpost, forced to go through PR. Ugh. Yeah, that is a nightmare. I may shitpost, but I am free. I don't even shitpost. I'm not good at that. I don't think I'm a good shitposter. I kind of PR myself as it is. Try and make everything presentable. I don't feel like a good shitposter at all. I don't. I'm not as funny as a lot of people. Aw. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, there are some people who just, like, are very funny and witty in their posts, and I'm a shit poster, though. True. I don't feel like I'm very funny or witty. I'm just like, hey, a cool thing happened. Here's my lizard. Also, here's art. But, like, in terms of, like, yeah, just witty takes or whatever, not my forte. I don't know, I feel like there's a certain kind of skill you have in, like, I'm trying to think of the correct word for it. See, that's my problem. You know, really appealing online interactions. I'm too old for it. Oh boy. Yeah, that's another risk, is like if you get super interactive with your fandom, then that's pretty risky. You can get in trouble. Not in like legal trouble, though you can't do that, but just like it kind of ruins the magic. So no. Toby Fox is correct in his approach with social media, which is limit it severely. Do not talk about, you know, your personal interests and stuff. Well, he's doing that a little bit with, like, Soul of Sovereignty. Yeah. Insert Disc 5, I feel like, is a little bit more, they're a bit more chatty. They definitely talk a bit more online than Toby does. But I have not had any problem with their posts so far. They've been pretty cool. But, what was I gonna say? It's a balancing act. Because part of, like, the whole being on social media thing is, like, you're not just selling your work, you're selling yourself. And that's probably where I struggle. I don't feel like I'm good at selling myself at all. I'm like, please just look at the comics. Please just watch the thing I made. Don't perceive me. Perceive the art. Don't perceive me. Persona's the most you're going to get from me. Yeah, they do come from more modern fandom landscape. He did. Oh, I'm positive that Toby is definitely aware of a lot of unpopular fandom shitposts. I don't know if he checks the Reddit at all. I kind of doubt it. Definitely not often. But I'm sure he's aware of stuff like on Blue Sky and Twitter. Oh, yeah. And I think oftentimes, like, if there is some kind of big collaborative effort to, like, you know, do stuff as a fandom, and he's like, oh, this is really cool. I really like seeing Lynx. Like, that's neat. Yeah, I hope he doesn't check the Reddit either. Why do I check the Reddit? This deals me psychic damage every time. I'm so stupid. Ugh. Back from my daily psychic damage, I guess. Oh, well. You do live blissfully. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should repost the stuff to Reddit too, and then I'm like, but the vibes are so bad. The vibes are so bad. Tumblr and Blue Sky's vibes are way better. That is true. He does do a lot of collaborations. Those are always neat. But yeah, like, I saw his post about Soul of Sovereignty, and I'm like, I should check out Soul of Sovereignty, because I've heard it's good. Looks good. Oh no, I've only looked at the Eldritchrune subreddit. I don't know what's going on in the Undertale Yellow subreddit. I'm a little worried. But it sucks, Undertale Yellow's good. I really like Undertale Yellow. Oh my goodness. Pronouns. So exhausting, please. Like, I understand if English is not your first language, and, like, you don't have the grammar for that, that's fine. It's like, oops, you know, English is not my strong suit. No problem there. Like, who cares? But, it is so annoying when people who should know better are like, well, they have they, them pronouns because we don't know their gender. We're supposed to project onto them. I'm like, no. And also, shut up. These guys are laughing at you. I know. Like, even whether or not you want to argue about them being non-binary, which I think they are and they should be, like, they only use they, them pronouns. That is all they use. Again, the only exception I can think of for that is, like, if English is not your first language and the language that you are native in does not have neutral pronouns, then yeah, that's a hard thing to work out. That makes sense. Because there are languages like that. But if you are, like, a native English speaker, I'm sorry, you don't have an excuse. Like, we know at this point that in English they only use they, them pronouns. That was one thing I did appreciate about In Stars and Time is, like, oh, pronouns right there. Just integrated into, like, the, you know, character info. That was useful. Yeah, it's especially true with, like, Chris, because a major plot point of Chris is that they are not a self-insert of you. They are their own person. That's kind of a big deal. That's one of the more interesting parts of it, is that they are distinct from you. And there's, like, this tension there between who's playing the game and the character they're playing as. That's neat. But it's also why I don't understand the players, you know, not involved at all. That's, you know, that's too meta. It has to be another character in the game. You are not part of the story. And I'm like, why? It's fun. It's fun that we get to be a part of the story. It's really playing up, like, you know, one of the important parts of what makes games as a medium distinct from other mediums is our participation in it. And it's commenting on that and making you think about it. I think that's cool. What does it mean when you, the player, are a participant in the narrative? Yeah, and you name yourself in the thing. And he specifically has very interesting information. Like, what I find interesting is, like, if what I find interesting is, you know, if you name yourself in the vessel the same name, because it kind of cheats you into that a little bit by saying, okay, what are you going to call the vessel? And you're like, oh, this is me, so I'm just going to call it my name. And then he hits you with, and what's your name? And you're like, I guess I'll just put my name again. And then Gaster comments on that. Like, masterful gambit. That's so good. Yeah, it's got you thinking about it. Especially the stuff with Kara is that, like, I don't know, it feels like people often forget, because people assign these kinds of, like, distinct characteristics to Kara, that Kara is supposed to be you. That is where the line is supposed to really blur, because you are kind of encouraged to name Kara as yourself. You are Kara, and it's really only in, like, the New Mercy route that distinction is made really strongly. And I'm glad we agree on this too. Yeah, they're complicated, for sure, but I feel like because we have the whole, you know, the true name sort of thing as, like, character, people make them really distinct from you, when the idea is supposed to be, like, they are kind of supposed to be you. They are commentary on you. And again, that only really comes apart when it's kind of forced to. Add. Almost done with this. It's probably why we'll never have a solid interpretation on Kara, because they keep getting interpreted differently depending on how the player feels about the game, which is true. Yeah, it's a little bit messy. I will say, I love Kara and Frisk, but I do feel like they are kind of rougher prototypes of what Chris is doing a little better. Like they're both clearly playing with the idea of, okay, what is the relationship of the player to the player character? You know, let's think about the impact you have on the world through this character. How are you distinct from them? How are you the same from them? Or same as them, kind of thing. But I think, like, Chris is a stronger, more realized take on those questions. Yeah, they're definitely, I think they are a foil. They are supposed to, again, they're supposed to point out what you're doing. And while it's definitely fun to, like, make them distinct, especially for, like, fanfic purposes, where, you know, in a static thing like fanfiction, you can't be a participant so much, you have to kind of default to Kara doing that. But in the game itself, they are supposed to be you. Yeah, just directly at you and how you behave. Whereas Eldritchrune is definitely like, what is your relationship to the protagonist, the character you're supposed to be controlling. Exactly. I do really like that idea, and I think it was in Molly Starr's device theory video, that, you know, if Undertale is a commentary on, you know, loving video games too much, in the sense that, you know, these characters that you supposedly love, you will kind of, make their lives miserable or even kill them because you want to find out so much about them. You want to take the game apart, into little pieces. Basically, love it so much it stops becoming an actual character that's real. It becomes an object to you. Like, that's interesting commentary, but I also really like the idea that perhaps Deltarune is that in reverse, in the sense of that you love a character so much that you will not leave them be. That if their story or for whatever is unsatisfactory to you, that you will take them then and carry them forward into something new and different because you love them. Like, I think that would be a really interesting take on Deltarune's story and relationship of the player with the game. Yeah. Hello, thank you for coming. It is going okay. I probably need to stop and do a stretch break soon, but we are working away on this next Eldritchrune scene with Undyne and Alphys, who had a terrible, messy meet cute. But yeah, and then just the idea of, Deltarune commenting on fans is like, even in fandom sort of thing. Like, again, taking those characters beyond and giving them new chances, basically. I haven't seen the colors, but I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're good. And just the idea of kind of like, if Flowey is the player surrogate in Undertale, then Gaster is the player surrogate in Deltarune, whereas, Flowey with basically godlike abilities went through this world so many times that it lost all meaning to him. Whereas Gaster stumbles across this world and loves the characters so much for it that he's willing to try and, like, take them to someplace new to fix something for them because he doesn't think it's fair or whatever what is supposed to happen to them. And then both of those are, like, commentary on the player surrogates. Neither is right or wrong. They're just commentaries on, reflections on how we interact with video game media. And I think that would be really cool. I hope that's what happens, because I think that would be really cool. Yeah, Deltarune, the same thing again. Deltarune termination, the power to create a world and make something new. I think that would be a really cool idea. It also kind of takes away that whole idea of the player is bad for playing the game, which I don't think is the case. I think we are going to have to let go of Chris in order to finish the game. But I don't think the game is going to be like, and you were bad for controlling Chris in the first place. I don't think that's what it's actually going for. Despite what I drew in Paper Trail with our really early stuff. Yeah. I feel like our relationship with Chris is supposed to be like cautiously symbiotic. Again, I still like the idea that Chris summoned us here on purpose. That it was their choice, even though that now be a choice they kind of regret and don't really think that was the best idea. Even if they made it feel like, oh, this is my only option. Chris, have you ever played One Shot? You should give it a shot. A one shot, even. But yeah. I do like the idea that it was Chris's idea to get us here, and they're kind of dealing with that, even if they don't really like it. And I think I mentioned this in the last art stream, but I like the idea that, in the neutral route, we're going to have to part ways with Chris one way or another. And if we do it in the normal route, then, we part on amiable terms. It's a sad parting, but it's still, it doesn't feel bad. Whereas in, like, the weird route, Noelle banishes us. She figures out what's going on and banishes us from the game and from Chris. I just think that'd be really badass. It's like, oh, you made me stronger? Well, I've made you strong enough to destroy God. That would be cool. Take that, people who's trying to mess with my life. But we'll see what happens. Those are just some things I think would be cool. And I'm still kind of like, oh, maybe I should do like a giant predictions post. I would do a YouTube video, but I don't know if I have time to edit a video. It seems like a lot of work. Eldritchrune soon. Toby, please. Please, Toby. Alright, once I finish Alphas here, I need maybe take another stretch break. Please, Toby. I can do arts and stuff in the meanwhile. I just appreciate knowing what we're doing. Next hour as opposed to tomorrow. In the meanwhile, Rain World, true. Deltarune in 3 motherfucking seconds. Wait, is there new Rain World stuff out? I know there's like a bunch of DLCs that's supposed to come out for Rain World. Is there yet another Slug Cat you can play? Ooh, DLC. Nice. Okay, we'll finish Undyne real quick, and then I gotta take my stretch break. It's like, those guys are jerks. Yeah, they are. Alright, have a good lunch. Thanks as always for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here. Once I'm done with this, I will have to get lunch. And make muffins and take out Alfie's. It's a rainy day today, though. It's supposed to probably rain like all week. Again. It's cool. This strong woman I met wouldn't be an innocent person. Definitely would not sacrifice a child to a demon prince. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming. Appreciate you being here. Like, that child I sacrificed definitely will not come back to be a problem in the future. My favorite cult goer. This is what they meant by problem child. Indeed. Not a problem anymore if they're sacrificed properly. Or are they? Chris is like, you think I'm the problem child now. Just wait until I return with my army of horrible hell beasts. Then we'll see who's a problem. Still got so much. Such a night in the woods vibe. Oh yeah, I'm quite certain there's a little bit of that in there. The older generation being like, if we sacrifice the younger generation, we'll get the past back for sure. It might be detrimental. I know dying over and over again might be detrimental as well. This may affect the local trout population. True. Do they even have trout around here? That's the question. Alright, let's do a little stretch break before we get back to these two lesbians. We had a bit of a running into each other. Oh, my neck. Ouch. And do the neck stretches. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this might have been a long time ago. I don't remember. But yeah, they are kind of in a switched position. I don't think Undyne feels as much guilt as Alphys did. I think she definitely feels... She's not guiltless. She feels definitely something about it, and it does not feel good. But it's not to the kind of... I'm a horrible screw up and everybody hates me and I should off myself thing that Alphys was doing in Undertale, which was so sad. It's switcheroos all around. If they had just divorced, this wouldn't have happened. Clearly, this is why every universe needs them divorced. Otherwise, terrible things happen. Well, I don't know, terrible things happen to them anyway, so maybe it's unavoidable. Probably not this terrible, though. I don't think actual Deltarune is gonna be nearly this dark. At least I Toriel, use divorce. Divorce will be with you always. Divorce mates. Divorce with your spirit. I hope Asgore does get to do some cool stuff in Deltarune, though, because goodness gracious, the poor guy. Absolutely trashed on. And, like, Undertale, it's a bit more understandable. He killed a bunch of kids. But Deltarune, it's like... I don't think he killed nobody in Deltarune. I think where he screwed up was that he failed to find deaths. And just that kind of spiraled out of control. I don't think there's nearly as high stakes as dead kids, even if it might appear that way. But I hope he gets to do something to, at least be back in Chris's life a little bit again. I just don't think he killed anybody in Deltarune. I don't think he did. Yeah, he is a sad loser in a lot of stuff. Blacked out with the guys. I know people like to do on that, but no, I don't think Asgore actually killed anybody in Deltarune. I think he's way too nice and accommodating, and I don't think, and yeah, specifically because he failed to, find the mayor's daughter. He pushed Jess down the stairs, and then hung her in the backyard to look like it was a suicide. No. I think I may have killed the bear. Everybody making the Mori jokes. Mori spoilers, by the way. Please go play Mori, it's fun. Why is Noelle being hit by a car a theory? That's just silly. That's silly. That's too silly. Alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch and other stuff. Alrighty, streamer jump scare. I'm back for more real shit posting. Just when you thought you were free. Okay. We'll see how far we can get. We're on page 6 out of 9. Well, 9 is kind of more of a half page. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here. I'll probably go for maybe an hour or so more. It depends. Always lots to do today as well. I really gotta, again, get to finishing Anthrofractal. Ugh. I just wanted to stream. I feel like ever since my wrist problems, I've been going slower than usual. I feel like I used to race through these things a lot faster. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Not bad to be slow, it just feels weird to me. Wouldn't that be kind of less like a movie and more like a, I don't know, one of those video games you could play? Not like video games, but like, oops, wrong color. Be kind, rewind. I'm probably just thinking more of like those DVD menu games. But I feel like there were like, maybe they had this on videotape, but I feel like it was mostly with the advent of DVD, where it was like a board game slash, you know, video, quote unquote, you played it on video game, where it's kind of a choose your own, it's kind of like a video choose your own adventure. I think I've only played one of those once. And that's not even during their heyday. They definitely tried all the kinds of things back then. Will this work? We'll give it a try. Yeah, exactly. Part of what makes, you know, Undertale and Eldritchrune so special is, again, this understanding of, like, the medium is the message. That the real power of it is in the medium of video games and how you interact with them. Yeah, an Undertale movie adaptation would not work. It would not feel or be the same. It would really fall short, I think. My one exception was like if you really, really wanted to do any kind of film or animated adaptation of Undertale, don't adapt the game. You can't adapt the game. It's not going to work if you adapt the game. I think it would just work if you focused on, like, the alarm clock dialogue, basically. Just focused on the characters in, like, you know, they're integrating into human society and they're on wacky adventures. Don't even have Frisk in there. Just the Undertale monsters. Have very low stakes. Just show the characters, you know, having fun being friends, and you can get kind of a little hint of other things about them that are neat. But it would not work otherwise. No, even then, I don't think that would work as well. I don't think that would be very narratively satisfying. Especially because it would end with, like, and then they're trapped underground, and that's it. And as far as they can tell, they have no hope about that. Yeah, it would either have to be animated or, like, Jim Henson-style puppets. Like Labyrinth, that would be cool. But, again, I do not think you could adapt the actual story of Undertale properly, it would not work. I feel like you would have to take out all the stuff about humans, except as really peripheral, and have it be very low stakes. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Where did Cinder Plains come from? Good question. Good question. Did humans design their airplanes based off Cinder Plain? Yeah, remember that weird monster that was like really into like being mean about you, but they liked you? We should make one of those you can fly in. Huh? Yeah, plus it'd be like, again, trying to find Kara, when the big thing about Kara is that they are you. They are not easily defined. Cinder Plain being a ghost. And there's more than one ghost, too. Multiple of them wanted to be a plane. Yeah, that is one area where I think the concept of Undertale falls short, is that, like, you're really supposed to be given the idea that, you know, every monster is unique and special. That really feels like how it's supposed to work. Like, they all have different, you know, very distinct personalities. And yet there are multiple Froggets and multiple Vulcan and multiple everybody. And it makes them feel kind of less distinct. But there's just no way you can get around that, because, like, you're not going to design, like, you know, 50 bajillion distinct characters for encounters. That's just not realistic. Well, that's kind of what I did in Kara's backstory, is they kind of end up becoming aware of, like, oh, I think I know what role I'm supposed to play here, and it's not a good one. Oh, this was the Kara origin story I did way back in the day. This was specifically with you know, kind of related to Dogs of Future Past. But the very ending of it is basically supposed to kind of imply that that they are aware of the player at the end, or at the very least, the idea is put in their head that that they are being controlled by or like guided by a player. And yeah, just as a warning, the Kara Origins story, it is pretty dark. There are depictions of, like, you know, physical abuse, religious abuse, a lot of that. And more cults. If I had a nickel for every time there were cults and Lynx Griffin Undertale fan stuff, I'd have 2 nickels. Which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. I don't even like cults. I think they're awful. But they're fun for storytelling purposes. Definitely, at least, like, Kara's religious trauma is absolutely based on my thoughts on some real life things. Not real life for me. Thankfully, I do not have religious trauma. But just religious things that I am aware of and have opinions on. And the cult of the Griffin. I don't think I'd be a very good cult leader. I don't have the riz. I don't have charisma for it. And again, a lot of being a cult leader is like, perceive me. And I'm like, I don't want to know. Don't perceive me. Perceive my art, not me. Please, no. No, he's not. He's a very naughty boy. Oh, I think I've only saw like parts of Life of Brian once. So, not much on that. But yeah, with the Kara origins, Kara's Cold is absolutely supposed to be kind of more drawing from real life dispensational millennialism kind of stuff. Whereas the one here is a pure fantasy. It's fantastical, monastical, not realistical. Here comes the Alpine. Choo choo. I do wonder if we're going to get more of this in canon. Will they get together? How could they not have met already? This is a very small town. What are you two doing? How do you not know who anybody is, Undyne? When did you get to town? Okay. I'm done with this page, finally. We're on to 7. Alphys doesn't go outside. True. True, true. That could be why they haven't encountered things. Sorry, your bike crashed. I don't know. It seems like... Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really curious, like, when each person got to town. Because in some ways it feels like everyone has been there the whole time. But in some ways they also don't act like it, so... It's odd. I would be curious if either Undyne came in later, but probably can't be too much later. Or if Alphys came in later. Alphys recently isekai'd from Eldritchrune. Isn't that supposed to be Sans? That's a really good joke. I'm glad your bike crashed. There's the cards in the convenience store. That's really good. I love the little jokes like that. I don't know. Have you ever had an instance where somebody's bike crashed and you're like, I'm glad that happened to you? And you want a card for it? Is it human? You gave that card to your brother. Aww. I would be sad if my brother's bike crashed. Yes, Undyne, I'm writing a new story. It's like I used to be a monster in a regular town, and I was hit by a car, and I got isekai'd to a universe where I'm now a human, but there's also giant eldritch monsters. Alphys never dies. She just gets isekai'd to various universes. That's how she knows they exist. Because if anybody talks about there being alternate universes in Undertale, it's Alphys. She's the one who's like, have you ever thought about if there were other universes out there? What would that be like? It's her. Make a million versions of her. She's the one. She knows. But no. Sans is probably the one who will get it, because Sans is probably the one who is from Eldritchrune. And possibly Papyrus as well. I'll just get back onto my weird, crazy... Yeah. One crazy crack theory of Papyrus is like Susie. He's half human, but he's a human in the Eldritchrune universe. That's why we haven't seen him yet. He looks like a regular guy. I just want that to happen because the fan outburst would be incredible. People would just flip their lids completely. We finally... The left side of him is human and the right side is a skeleton. Oh no, he's Two-Face! He's a Batman villain. You either die a human or you live long enough to see yourself become a skeleton. Mm-hmm. It is pretty freaky. I guess if you have like any kind of skeleton monster, you gotta take some liberties with it. Because part of what holds our skeleton together are things like, you know, muscles and ligaments. And if we don't have that, hard to stand up on your own. How do y'all get by without muscles and ligaments? That's a fun word to say, ligament. Ligament. She's showing off her nerdy things. But I don't know, the more I see some of, like, some of Pyrus's jokes in Undertale, the more I'm like, I don't know. Evidence towards my crack theory? Even though they're probably just jokes. That would be the Occam's razor explanation, which is usually correct. And the unemployed divorced guy's the king here? Oh, this will be good. No, this definitely won't end in tragedy. Oh, the teacher is the royal scientist? Okay. Still gonna come in here for, you know, a bunch of ramen in the middle of the night, though. Good to see some things have not changed. Eldritchrune Alphys would be eating ramen, but they don't have it in this part of the world. How sad, no ramen. Doesn't unfan and untail. A hot dog vendor, the royal judge. What are you talking about, my guy? I'm just the janitor. I love his back and forth with Susie. She's like, you're the manager. Nope, I'm the janitor. Who's running the store? It's just me. That makes you the manager. Nope, I'm just the janitor. It's just absolutely messing with her. Because she's easy to mess with. I haven't heard any theories about a royal judge. I always figured Sans was just there to judge you because that's how he rolls. So much top tier writing. Also his whole, you know, if you want to buy stuff in a store, you put it in a basket and you bring it to me. Don't you know how a store works? I have not seen a royal judge theory, I'll be honest, I have not. I don't see what the point of that would be. Why does it need to be an official position? I mean, they barely seem to have much of a justice system going on because nobody really commits crimes. They have a royal guard to look out for humans specifically, but they don't seem to have, like, you know, a jail. And the king mostly goes around being like, I'm going to go to the children's school and teach them how to take care of flowers. She does kick people's asses, but how many asses does she kick? Does she put them in jail? Is there monster jail? Gay monster jail. Do they have to go to monster court? There would just be a good hiding. Does she go after the rowdy teens at all? Oh no, Undyne's coming. We can't be rowdy teens putting googly eyes on gift trot anymore. They'll send us to gay monster jail. Gosh darn teenage googly eyes. That's true. It seems like it's pretty much there for looking for humans. Otherwise, I don't know. Probably not doing that much. Ah, I see. That's not too bad an idea. Exactly. We gotta teach you how to be gay to fit in better, or getting a little straight for our tastes. This is the Monster Kingdom, after all. In the year 20x14, being straight is illegal. Punishable by order of gay jail. Gotta do some gay community service. That is true. Because with how strong humans are supposed to be, everyone else, if they encounter, like, you know, a not so nice human, is automatically more at risk. But yeah, he can't be everywhere at once. He does like to go out and walk a bunch and talk to people, though, so. He honestly seems a little bit more shut-in Eldritchrune than he does in Undertale. At least how he's perceived, anyway. Let the punishment fit the crime. I don't know. Like, is any kind of warning system tripped when, you know, Frisk shows up? At least, at the very least, Sans obviously does not seem that worried. That's true. Oh yeah, she does. There are Alfie's cameras, yeah. So there is basically that. Virus does have to report to Undyne. So I guess they do have systems in place. In as much as they're able. Yeah, Asgore's always close to the barrier. Although, can humans even get in that way? I mean, I guess they technically should be able to. Why do they always fall down from the other entrance? Does nobody come in the back way? That too. Do they only come in through Toriel? Or through where Toriel is in the ruins? Does anybody come in through the waterfall? Because we know trash comes from there. Does anybody come in from the entrance by the King's area? Because we know there's a way out from there. maybe is a kind of thing of like you don't know the magical barriers there in the other spots, so you kind of just like, okay, I'll try this way. I won't go in this way. One human soul goes through the trash instruments. I got caught up in one of those garbage disposal things and ended up in Mount Ebit's trash. Also, humans, why are you dumping all your trash on this sacred mountain of monsters? I mean, I know it's so that they have access to technology, but also, why are you doing that? It's silly. They fell into the trash heap and died instantly. Oh no. He found a gun in a dumpster. Yeah, that's true. It seems like if you don't basically get stuck in the trash, you're going to get carried over the waterfall and into the abyss, which, not a good way to go. Again, humans, why are you dumping your anime into the evil mountain? Nobody can climb this mountain except sanitation workers. You must have sanitation certification to climb Mount Ebit. I don't know. It seems like it's kind of implied that it's just like nothing down there. Just bottomless pit hell. Yep, only the kids fell down. It's because the only adults going to have proper certification. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Welcome back. We are still making our way through this. Yeah, it seems like there's definitely a lot of like underground areas that we never get to see. Like, for all they say the underground is small, I'm like, it feels like it's actually quite large. Got a whole kingdom of monsters down there. That makes sense. Other parts to be explored, but you don't have time for all of them. You can only do a few things. And I know Yellow does that a little bit by having, like, you know, Steamworks areas and the desert, which is cool. It's a good idea. And again, even just other parts of, like, the ruins and Snowden. It's a good idea. I mean, even that feels like hard to, like, figure out for me in terms of, like, what kind of biomes you would have. I already find it a little weird that it's like we have snow and trees underground. I know it's magic, but still. That makes sense, yeah. Like, New Home always feels like supposed to be like a metropolis, a really big place. But it'd be pretty dang big, so it would be hard to explore all that. Nope. Uh-oh. Alfie's bringing up Chris. I didn't sacrifice him. Yeah, water cycles is enough, but generally, like, trees still need at least sunlight. It's not even just like a few trees, it's like a whole forest. Like, ruins make sense. You know, waterfalls, fine, that's like an underground cave area. And obviously lava for Hotland makes sense. But just trees, coniferous trees, I don't know. I think the only explanation we have is magic, and that's fine. Well, I'd be sad there just like tons and tons of tree monsters just kind of hanging out there. Magic light. Mysterious magic light that we never see but can grow trees. Aww. The trees grow because Papyrus smiles, and that counts as sunlight. Oh, why is that so sweet? The trees all die off if you kill Papyrus. No. That's so sad. Went from being sweet to being sad. We love you, Papyrus. Hopefully we'll see him in Eldritchrune eventually. Whenever Asriel gets home, that is. Which, I don't know, maybe it'll be before day 7. It said next week. It's almost next week. Please come home, Fluffy boy. We need to see you. Papyrus! He didn't even tell us Papyrus's name. He's just like, come see my brother. We're not even 100% sure his brother's Papyrus. We're just assuming it. Yeah, I hope it's before day 7. Please be before day 7. I don't want to rush all of that at the end. I know we got a lot to do, but still. We need the boys. The cute boys. Fluffy boys and skeleton boys. I hope that Asriel is like his parents and that he's built like a fridge. He's just a really big guy. Fluffy skeletal boys? That might be an oxymoron. I don't know if I really want to imagine a fluffy skeleton. I'm wrong. They can be throwing the bones. I don't know. Not quite buying it. I ain't picking up on it. Oh, he's gonna have young adult facial hair. Aw. He could. I hope he looks a little bit doofy and scruffy. I hope he's built like a fridge. His egg cracked. He comes back. He's a woman. What would his new name be, though? Aww. Chris is like, I don't know how I feel about the hugs. Yeah, again, I don't know if we want to be, like, wide in the same way that Asgore is, but just, like, big in some way. Now, people tend to put him as, like, a beanpole, and I'm like, both of his parents are really big people in their own way. I want him to be large. It's also going to kind of help, you know, make Chris feel more, stand out more. I got these big fluffy monster family and tall and buff. That's the real egg cracking. You know, he worked out a lot. He was a dweeb. Then he got strong. He hit the gym. That's why all the girls are going crazy for him. All the girls go crazy for me. It's like, actually, I'm asexual. Sorry. You joined the football team. Shocking, he would play football if he had any feet. Then again, he runs track, so that ain't gonna stop him. And he loves soccer balls. When will Jockington have his time in the sun? All the girls and me. Mm-hmm. We should be able to play soccer. Jockington's going to be awesome. People are sleeping on Jockington. He's going to surprise us. By the power of Jockington, I have the snake. Let us see the jock boy. That's my guess for chapter 4. So that's when we're gonna get Caddy and Jockington. Maybe 5, but I think it could happen as early as 4. He plays soccer. That's why he drew a picture of her soccer ball like 50 times. He plays soccer. And he runs track. He is on the track team with Noelle. Like, she is friends with him. When he comments on her live drone, she's like, OMG, sports, hi! Like, she's excited about him. And then he's like, can there be a soccer ball at the game? No? Okay, I will not use this website anymore. He's a silly boy. Oh yeah, there's so many characters to pick from. So many. But I am excited to see what he does. It's his year. It's his time to shine. Let him have his year in the sun. Not really. Although I would not say my streams are for kids. That makes it difficult if you're in college. Yeah, my one regret with Paper Trail was not doing much with Birdley. I didn't really have any ideas with him. It turned out he had lots to do, even just in chapter 2. I slept on Birdley. Can't make that mistake again. Okay. I guess we'll do this on special lines. Oh, no, we're going to do her face too. We all did. Or Birdley. And be careful what you wish for. Don't wish him dead. I do wonder what more he'll be doing in future chapters. Because kind of suck we just kind of put by the wayside, but have to because of, you know, if he's not around because of Snowgrave, then that's going to alter things significantly. I'm curious how that will work. The Birdley song comes up. Oh, I just realized if we have Caddy and Jockington come up in a future Dark World, we're going to get like themes for them. I'm really curious how those are going to be. Gothic meets Jock. Jocketh. Oh, yeah, we're here. It's back here. I'm just excited for new music in general. I'm gonna like double my playlist overnight. All the new versions that come out. Oh, he got a free one to the mansion because of the girl dad. I think I'm going to go a little longer in terms of how long I go before I take my break. But once this will pretty much be as far as I go. And once I'm done, I'll be done for the day, because I need to go get lunch and stuff like that. I draw this stupid altar every time. I'm like, no, why are you always covered in flowers? It takes forever. And yeah, she sacrificed a child. She feels a little bad. She is not guilt-free. Yep, approaching the ends of it. She seems to like Chris well enough in game. Oh, she does be like, oh, it's Asgore's kid, so I think she mostly associates Chris with Asgore. Does not seem to believe them when they're like, oh, there's a dark world. And yeah, she is not a child murderer in canon, I am quite certain of that. That would be silly. I don't think there are any child murderers in Hometown. Unless you count us with Birdley. This is a very different universe. No, I do not think anybody was hit by a car. This isn't Petscop. Cars barely feature in the game as it is. Except for Undyne bench pressing a bunch. Although I guess you can get killed by Toby in his little car. Undyne drops car. She does need an outlet. New theory. Toby will kill you with his car. I love that bit. I love how, like, you know, he posts that bit of the Toby in the car, the toy car, and said, this is the last thing you see before you die. It was true. It was correct. He was not lying. It really was the last thing you see before you die. In a fake sense. It was foreshadowing. Well, isekai you into a world that is exactly the same, but you have a broken collarbone. Ugh, I would not like that. My mom broke her collarbone, and it took a while to heal for him. It's a bad injury. I would not want the same world, but I have a broken collarbone. That would be a crappy world. New theory. You're isekai'd into a world that is exactly the same, but you have a roast chicken in your house with carpet. You now have roast chicken. This was still traumatizing for Chris, yes. Also, I will have my revenge. Boy, I can't wait till I get to the point where I'm working on some ending stuff for Eldritchrune. You know, see, things will get a little messy. Get a bit messy. Those are big old things again. I definitely have all of the ending stuff for Eldritchrune planned out. It's a matter of producing it. And that's the hard part. That's going to take a while. Meanwhile, at least want to get these things done. That's not necessarily bad. There's plenty of stories that I think people start where you don't necessarily know how it's going to end. You kind of figure it out as you go. And that is not a bad way to do a story. Ooh. That is a perfectly reasonable way. I'm trying to think if that's ever happened where I've, like, not quite known how a story was going to... I guess that kind of happened with Dog of the Future Past, but not exactly. I think I got the ending fairly early on, even if not immediately. Although with Paper Trail, I knew the ending extremely early on. Like that was one of the first things I knew I wanted to do. There's different ways of writing stories. So obviously, we know with Eldritchrune that it is the opposite, where Toby had ending in mind first. And that is what he got very, very first. I'm very, very curious to see how that all comes out. Okay. Yeah. Through that. Oh, I don't think we're going to be able to finish all the pages tonight, or today. Whatever time it is. But we will get as far as we can. At least making pretty good progress, but yeah, I'm going to have to probably stop soon and do my stretches. And meanwhile, more nerdy alfies. Oh wow. Anniversary chapters. They are crazy. Man, I really want to do something for Undertale's 10th this year. I don't know what to do. I wish I could do like an animatic. I just don't have an idea with it. Like, what would I do with that? I mean, I want to do something, but I really need an idea for it. A good one. And I do like doing animatics for fun as well. For fun and work. Oh, I do need to do some special lines, yeah. Aww. That would be sweet. Sweet and sad. I feel like it's been done so many times, though. I gotta think of something new to add to that. Not enough, though. That's true, usually in comic form. I love doing animatics, but the part where I struggle is with sound and music. I always gotta have help with that. Because I can't do that on myself, or if I can, it's not very good. I do not trust myself to voice act. When they're first getting to know each other. And you can tell, like, before everything went wrong, Azrael was just like, this is my best friend ever. And he was just really happy about that. And I'm like, you poor kid. Everything went wrong. all this, I eventually need to do another Asriel Investigates scene. I'm sure there'll be some important exposition to put into that. Just gotta figure out how I want to present that. Asriel ends up being the exposition scenes. Sorry, Azzy. Sorry. I don't know if I'll ever explain where the annoying dog came from, which just started following him as soon as he left home. It just happened one day. I want those tangents. Oh, there's always time to try it again. Yeah, I'm super duper hoping to have this part done within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm already in the middle of a doing the can't talk, the background shading for it, and the character shading will not be hard. You can play Megalovania now that you own an electric guitar. In fact, that seems like a very good thing to play an electric guitar. It was so fun when I was at the Furry Con. I was wearing my Undyne shirt from Fangamer, and I stopped to play some DDR, and they had a Battle Against a True Hero. So I got to play Undyne's boss battle song wearing her shirt. I miss DDR, but I'm so out of practice with it. Just doing a couple of like basic songs, I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. What is going on with your hair? It's a mess. You look like a rooster. Comb your hair. No. We did know about the horns back in chapter 1. That was one of the earliest suggestions as to what Rouse was. Yep, that is in fact where we learned of it. It was in chapter 1 where we talked to Toriel, and she's like, "Oh, whatever happened to those horns you wore?" Use some Rogaine, girl. Just cut them, please. I don't know if she'd want Rogaine. I think she just needs to cut it. I think that's for people who are balding. But she is not. Just kind of all over the place and wild. Oh, I have not seen that. Did not see that. I hear the geese going by. Honk, honk, honk. Okay. Yes, hopefully once I finish all the character lines for this one, the actual shading will go relatively quickly. Goodness, I'm ready for a new part to pee out. What's happening with the lines here? That's not how they go. Yes, I sacrificed that kid, but I'm trying to be encouraging to you. Okay, I think I will do one more panel after this one, and then that'll be time to stop, because I kind of skipped one of my stretch breaks and ran a little late. That is okay. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, let's go do one more panel of A Nice Smile from Undyne. And then we'll be done for the day. I gotta eat lunch and make muffins and various other things I do on Sunday. And I think Dork has a new video. I gotta check that out. I gotta check that. But, I miss doing art streams, so it's nice to do these again. Hopefully, I'll probably be able to do one next week too, as far as I know. I don't think I have anything big going on then, so I can probably do another one then. I'm about out of the woods with this episode of work, so that is good too. I know, I miss doing my art streams. I know, new newsletter, please. Please give us a thing, Toby. We're trying to be patient. We are. But it's hard sometimes. Need that newsletter goodness. Or even just an announcement of when newsletter is coming. Because I imagine that newsletter will also have, like, release date and trailer. That's my guess. Immediate dice roll. That's fun, though. It's like, oh, wake up. Maybe there'll be a new Toby post. Alright, yeah, I'm going to stop for now because I really need to stretch my wrist. But we're almost all the way through these clean lines. Got just this page and one more to do. And we'll be done with it. Yay! Oh. And meanwhile, stretching must happen. But yeah, it feels good to do an art stream again. It feels good to make progress on this, because again, I couldn't draw on this for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so, and it was kind of driving me nuts. Original stuff's always good. All kinds of good stuff. Ugh, yeah, I'm doing my last stretches, but this will be it for today, as I must be off onto other things. But yes, I appreciate you all being here for this fun art stream. It's so good to do this again. I should be able to do more Okami on Friday, and then of course we should hopefully be able to do more of this next week. Although I might be working on the ending for Eldritchrune next week, because I want to make progress on that too. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream, and for joining me for this drawing stuff, and for chatting with me about many silly things. I always enjoy doing this. And again, I appreciate you being here. I need to fix my activity feed. It's not showing anything. Yeah, thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and that your week goes well. And maybe we'll get Eldritchrune news this week, if we are lucky. Here is hoping. But yes, thank you guys again. And I will see you guys next time. Alrighty. Woo! Need to get some lunch. Alright, take care and see you later.